I have to say, this company is something special. And I don't expect you to get all your information from this episode. We're only hitting the wave tops. Please get out on their website, terracycle.com. Um, Tom, you mentioned it in passing a little bit in the last segment, and I want to give you a chance to talk about Loop.
Yes.
And I really want our listeners to understand this, and then I want to get your view on how this might work in the US.
Yeah, absolutely. So we thought a lot about, is recycling the foundational solution to waste? And I say this as a recycling company. We landed on no, that it's a great solution to the symptom of waste, like taking a Tylenol if you have a headache, but it's not solving waste at the root cause. And when we really dug in, where we landed that the root cause of waste is disposability, that things just become waste so incredibly fast. And that's a very new concept. Disposability only came onto the scene 75 years ago. And so, in the spirit to how do we go deeper, we've made the biggest investment in our entire history, so far about $50 million. So, for a company our size, that is a massive investment into really furthering reuse. And we did that through a platform we launched called Loop. And basically, the way Loop works is it's a platform for reuse for consumer products. Think like stuff you buy at a supermarket, window cleaner to orange juice, where brands can join and enable reusable versions of their products, which we define as the bottle has to be able to go around at least 10 times or more. And then retailers can make that available to consumers. And the consumer experience is you can go to a supermarket, buy your favorite brands in fully reusable packaging. You just pay a deposit on anything you bought. And then when you're done, you drop them off dirty, no sorting, no cleaning. You get your money back. And then we, as the waste management function of reuse, Loop collects them, sorts them, cleans them, and then it goes back to the manufacturer who refills them and right back on shelf. And this may sound familiar. It's exactly how beverage containers used to function up until about the 1950s. And so we started working on this about a decade ago. And we launched and we ran pilots all over the world in Canada, the US, France, UK, and Japan. And it was an interesting, ride. We were able to partner with 200 of the world's biggest consumer product brands, 40 major retailers, all the biggest and best. And the tough news is that we were not able to get out a pilot in Canada, UK, US, and Japan. The silver lining is Loop has now become the biggest reuse platform in France, where today it's industrially scaled. It's certainly not a pilot anymore. It's in about 700 stores. It's shipping 400 different products from Coca-Cola to Nutella. I mean, world's biggest brands in fully reusable packaging. And in many cases, it's even cheaper for consumers than the disposable alternative. And so what we learned in this journey, because it's both a journey of success in France, but also failure. We weren't able to really make it work in North America, is two things. One is the role of regulation. France has really good regulation that creates tailwind for a platform like Loop. It both mandates reuse, but also helps subsidize it. And I think, frankly, the closest thing to this in North America is Senate Bill 54 in California, which does
Yep.
mention reuse. I think, the tighter we can get that, both mandating it and subsidizing it, it's really, really going to help. And the case study is the whole country of France now can enjoy their favorite mass products in their favorite mass retailers in fully reusable packaging. And again, it becomes more cost effective. Now, the lesson to us, though, internally, because we can't just rely on regulation, is we need to really be empathetic to how chess pieces move on the chessboard. Because if we want to win the game of chess, we can't debate how chess pieces move. We have to, really understand and be empathetic to how they move. And how do corporates move? Generally speaking, a corporation like a manufacturer or retailer wants to make more money by doing and do less work. That could be seen as have higher revenue, make more money, do less work means higher profitability. And reuse goes is doesn't help in that respect because when you move a product to reusable, you're not going to have the consumer buy more orange juice or buy more shampoo. They're just going to buy the shampoo not in a disposable but a reusable package, and reuse brings more work. So you're asking the commercial actor to not grow their revenue but increase the work a little bit. So the solution to that, if you really empathize with that, is make the work next to zero. So that's what we've really been able to enable in France. We've found that about a quarter of everything in a supermarket is already in packaging that is conducive to reuse. with next to no operational change if the reuse system behind the scenes can be flexible and can accommodate those package forms. So when you go on shelf in big supermarkets in France and you see all the reusable products, they'll look like they're in their normal packaging. And think about it, like a perfume bottle, a whiskey bottle, a heavy plastic detergent container. Those are already durable enough to be cleaned and refilled 10 times or more. And the beauty is that it actually becomes cheaper because you're not having to buy those expensive packages anymore. You're substituting the cost of purchasing those packages with just the cost of collection, sorting, and some washing. And that's why, a $15 or 15 euro, if you will, whiskey bottle that was normally 15 euro in reuse, it's maybe 5 cents, 5% cheaper, which is phenomenal because now you get this
Mhm.
reuse is the best from a circularity point of view, right? It is better than closed loop recycling. It is the very tippity top of what we can do to eliminate waste. And if we can do that and make it commercially simple and even cheaper, then we have a home run. And so what I'm hoping for is we've established that in France. We're going to see more expansion. We just signed with a number of retailers in the UK.
Mhm.
And my hope is that we just actually talked to a whole group from the US who came out to Paris last week, all the sort of big NGOs in this space, as you can imagine, from the Ocean Conservancy to others who are really championing this. They were just out in Paris with us last week. They're now seeing it in the flesh that it's not academic, it's industrially scaled. And my hope is that in the coming years we can bring that learning and start deploying, say at minimum in California, but at maximum at a federal level. I mean, why not? And so we hope that'll be
Absolutely.
certainly the case.